Hey, this is Landon with Prestige Custom Builders coming to you from our Fireside Chats. We are talking about the design phase of the construction project. When we meet up with a customer and we start talking about the design aspect of the house, we like to give them a couple of different options as far as who they can call for their blueprints, whether it be an architect or just a draftsman. What that does is it allows them to kind of match up their personality to the customer and making sure that they're able to work together, and that way they can get the project drawn up the way that they would like to. Whenever you're talking about the design phase, you need to figure out what it is that you're looking for, what it is you like, what matches the elements, what also matches your personality, and then also keep in mind budgetary things, square footage, and just making sure the layout fits whatever type of living you're trying to achieve, whether it be your everyday liver or a short-term rental, or maybe it's both. I like to tell people you need to have 2 to 3 revisions on the blueprint. Whenever we do that, that allows us to walk through the process together. You get the initial plans drawn up, then I'll go sit down and go through it with you, and making sure that we have the correct layouts. Whether or not making sure that bedrooms are going to lay out properly, whether or not you're going to want built-in beds or just standard beds. Making sure the rooms are large enough to accommodate a king-size bed or 2 beds in one room if that's the desired layout. At that point in time, turn it back over to the designer, the architect, and then we come back with the second revision. And we just kind of go through that, making sure that it truly fits everything that we talked about the first time, making sure that the designer actually got all of the aspects that you're wanting to do in the project, make sure they got all that on paper. And then the third and final one is really just going through and kind of nitpicking things, making sure you get all the small details, whether it be a roof pitch, whether it be a deck layout, whether it be the underside of a house, getting all those minor things, but can be major things as far as the total construction project. So the design aspect of it, anything can be drawn on paper. It doesn't mean it's going to work out in the field. So when we do that, that's part of the layout and everything we'll do. And typically the second revision is making sure that it's going to work in the field, and making sure that it's just because it's on paper, that this is what it's going to truly look like whenever it's a finished product. With that, we also will look back through previous projects that we have. Maybe it's a roof line, maybe it's a pitch, maybe it's a deck layout, making sure that we're accommodating not only from a budgetary standpoint, but also a design standpoint and an architectural standpoint. As we go through the process, whether it be Zoom calls, phone calls, emails, text messages, pictures, or our drone videos, we try to make sure that through the entire process of the build with Prestige is that you have direct communication with me at all times. The communication, the line of communication between the homeowner, the designer, and the builder is key to making sure that the homeowner gets exactly what it is they're wanting to do. So as we're going through the design phase, we like to lay out and make sure we're upfront at the very beginning about the square footage, the bedrooms and bathrooms of the house. Bedrooms and bathrooms are where the price comes in. So we want to make sure that we have that in mind when we're looking at the budget. The budget set forth early on. We know we want to spend X amount of dollars. Let's make sure that the square footage matches what we can build for that budget. Then also, maybe we need to come a little bit closer to the budget if we're over. Well, we know at that point in time what things we need to change, whether it be bathrooms, which are your most expensive parts of the house, or square footage, just shrinking some square footage so that we can get down to that number. But if we know the budgetary numbers ahead of time, we can always scale the project back down or extend it, whichever way we need to.